You knew I would get to these eventually, right? But Candace released one day, and the very next day released a new one. And it reminded me of all these clips I've seen in interviews. And then in the course of watching the interviews, I realized there was a couple things maybe I read wrong that I will admit to you over the course of this probably series of 42 videos. So let's jump in.
She liked my face, actually, regarding the Superman neck.
All right, let me pause for a second and lay some groundwork here. ERIKA KIRK, in any normal world, which we most definitely are not in right now, would be a person of interest. No question. I mean, if you've watched one episode of Law and Order, you know that the basic questions like who would have something to gain from this, who's acting suspicious afterwards, who's lying, you look into that person. We know the FBI hasn't done crap when it comes to this investigation because ERIKA said on her interview with Glenn Beck, she's had his phone the whole time. I didn't even like Charlie Kirk. Agreed with almost nothing he said. But I want to know what happened. I am a justice person. The lack of it is a trigger for me. It's ridiculous how the government has been lying to us. It makes no sense to me whatsoever why she is not asking questions, but Candace Owens is. If you want all the details, watch Candace Owens. I am giving you a general overview, just as I can only mention a few of the lies that ERIKA KIRK has told since this happened, because there are so many, allegedly.
The Superman neck, she blamed that on Andrew Colvett, said that he went rogue, that Dr. Lee Trotter also went rogue, violated HIPAA, did not violate HIPAA. It was actually a three-way call. The statement pertaining to Superman neck came from her.
The Superman neck thing got thrown out there because the bullet that Kash Patel tried to tell us that was used would have taken his head off. For some reason, Turning Point felt like they needed to address this. That the bullet is the kind that would have taken his head off, except for the fact that Charlie had a miracle neck, a Superman neck. That's how stupid they think we all are. Come on.
Andrew Colvett.
Colvett.
In that regard, was doing Erika's bidding. She lied right to my face when she knew that she was on that call.
I started to watch Candace Owens a little bit when she was doing reporting on the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case, and I got sucked in a little bit, just impressed by her investigative style and work. But until then, I really couldn't just... I don't sense her to be a liar. I don't agree with everything she says, but she has receipts. So if you have any interest in this Charlie Kirk thing, I'd encourage you not to dismiss her. She may have been really off base about something else, or you've thought this or that or about her, but it is what it is. And Charlie was one of her best friends, so she is very invested for obvious reasons.
Now confirmed that she was at the Hamptons retreat. She was present when Bibi Netanyahu called.
I had heard ERIKA KIRK talk about this, and she gave no indication whatsoever that she was anywhere near the Hamptons. I mean, listen to this.
In August, before all this happened, he had a event where he had some donors at, and one of the first questions they asked was, God forbid if something happens to you, like, what would happen next at Turning Point?
That's one of the first questions they ask. This was a group of Christian Zionists, and they weren't happy with the direction he was going. So for them to ask one of the first questions, what would happen if... Really? I don't think she makes it sound like she was there. Owens came out of the gate saying that he was confronted about speaking out against Israel. And ERIKA KIRK came out and said there was no confrontation. Everything was everything was fine. But of course, Andrew had told Candace differently.
I was out here catching a lot of heat. Andrew Colvett said that Bibi offered to fund Turning Point to the next level. I have since confirmed what Andrew Colvett said with two people that are not related to Andrew Colvett at all. ERIKA, despite being at that dinner and confirming that she was there, does not remember that part. She says that there was not an offer that was made and that Bibi was calling about the letter that Charlie wrote him back in May.
A lot of people found it very odd that Bibi was very quick to express his condolences, like right after Trump. It was like, What are you doing? We soon realized that what he was doing was a PR move because Charlie had been speaking out against Israel, and Bibi was like, he's such a dear friend of Israel and we were so close. And one of the things he did was talk about this incredible letter and that Charlie was going to come to Israel. And the reality was that Charlie told Candace he was not going to Israel, and the letter was more confrontational than Bibi indicated at all.
Andrew confirmed to me that Charlie described that summit as like an intervention was being staged over Israel.
And I vividly remember Candace Owens addressing Bibi directly and saying, release the whole letter or I will, or something to that effect. She threw down the gauntlet, and I was so blown away. I don't care who you are, that is fucking impressive.
Also confirmed that ERIKA and Andrew were working together on that Fort Huachuca PR response.
Yeah, there was someone who claimed he saw ERIKA KIRK in a hotel near this base or on the base on the 9th. You can dig into that one, but it's pretty huge.
Andrew Colbert live messaging something from ERIKA after she told me that they were disappointed in Andrew, that he wasn't going to be involved in PR anymore.
Okay, so that sighting was so significant that they decided they had to address that, which sometimes makes things worse, as in this case. ERIKA had Andrew reach out to this relatively obscure podcaster and said, don't share this, but the podcaster was in the midst of doing his thing and read it out loud. And it included a picture that was supposed to be ERIKA KIRK's alibi, like a picture of her kids and her son, bear in mind, 18 months old. This child is not 18 months old. Could not make herself look more guilty if she tried. So Candace reached out and said, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. Just send me the text exchange. They sent her text, but there was no name attached. She tried to say it was because it was Charlie's nickname. And so Candace was like, well, just show me the phone number because I know Charlie's phone number. Never heard from them again about that. If you were the wife of a man who was brutally assassinated, would you not want every bit of information you could? Would you not follow every lead you had? And Candace was digging it up, and ERIKA was fighting it. ERIKA's mom had association with that base. That CIA documentary ERIKA filmed was connected to that base.
I believe Andrew was telling me the truth when he said that when he stepped off of the plane in Provo on September 10th, he basically collapsed into ERIKA's arms, crying on the tarmac. And the impression that I got was that Andrew was on that plane alone. Then we were later told that Andrew was accompanied by his wife. But ERIKA, during our face-to-face meeting, had no recollection of his wife stepping off of the plane.
This made me think about when my father died. I was in California. Some of the kids were in Tennessee. We met in New Mexico for his service. But I can't really remember them there. I remember moments just kind of sporadically, but I couldn't tell you when they arrived. I couldn't tell you where they were sleeping. And it's not like I was self-medicating. I was totally sober. I was just such in a state of grief about my father's sudden death that I didn't pick up what was going on around me. So part of me was thinking maybe she just wasn't tuned into that. But the big part of that story that Candace didn't address there is that ERIKA's plane arrived an hour earlier than Andrew's. So she would have waited, even though Charlie was in the hospital, she would have waited an hour for Andrew to get there. That's,
When they arrived at the hospital, after waiting for an hour,
there it is.
If Andrew is to be believed, that she waited for an hour on the tarmac for Andrew's flight to land, they arrived at the hospital and went in through separate entrances. Andrew went through the front main entrance where there were other TPUSA staff there, and ERIKA went in through a back or side entrance.
That doesn't particularly concern me. I could see why she would want to avoid the group, go in a different way. Maybe she had security with her that was escorting her directly to where his body was. You know, Andrew would be more concerned with getting to the group. So I'm not sure what the point is with that.
These are the facts.
And there are so many more. It's just beyond deniable that Turning Point and our government isn't pursuing this, is not concerned about getting to the truth. Not at all.